Hey, hey, hey.
Going on, Phil?
What's up, Mike? How you doing, my friend?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good. I just had to run out to move my car due to street sweeping. You know how it goes. So yeah, I just had to do that. They unfortunately went by. I went out too late and they already went by my car, and
Uh,
the patrol car that's usually with them wasn't behind. So I'm
oh,
hoping I get scratch free from this. It's a $90 ticket now, or I think $70, and it's like, Jesus.
oh,
Just you don't want to pay that, you know?
no.
So hoping for the best of that situation.
It's funny when you said I got to run out and move my car. That's immediately what I thought of. Street sweeper. It's got to be street sweeper day.
Yeah, man, they get you hard in Long Beach. It's like weekly, as everywhere else, it's weekly. The first when I moved to this new place out here, the first week when we moved here, I didn't know what day it was, and it happened to be like the next day when we moved. Um, I went outside. I was like, I didn't know. I just moved, and she was like, "Too bad. Welcome to Long Beach." I was like, "Damn."
Cold blooded.
Yeah, I told her. I was like, "It's like that." She's like, "It is," and I was like, "Oh, fine, fine." So
Welcome to the LBC.
exactly, exactly.
Well, dude, looking forward to getting into the new album and the tour and everything, and talk a little fantasy football and craft beer and other stuff too. But dude, let's get into the new album, Tether, eighth album. And dude, I imagine it was nice to get back in the room and record compared to the last one where you guys were all doing it over Zoom and everything. Is that how it went this time around?
That's what you would think, right? Unfortunately, no. We did the same way.
Way.
Yeah, it's self-produced, so we've kind of figured out a way to not have to spend as much money as possible, which is good, which is totally different. Like I'm I'm from the era of when you went to the studio, you hashed it out for a month and a half with the boys, you figure it out how you want to put songs together, you help with whatever you need to help with. And now since we're doing it a different way and we've kind of learned how to do it over Zoom, we still kept it that way, which is interesting. I would like to still go into a room and do all that stuff and go back to how we were used to doing it, or how we are used to doing it.
Yeah.
But it then, since we're doing it from home, it's just like us kicking it in someone's apartment or something, you know what I mean? Which is fine. But we've figured out a way to like do your homework at home, and when you want to work on something and you feel an artistic moment or whatever, you could do it. So that's good. That's like the plus side of doing it ourselves, comparative to when you're a producer. It's kind of like forced
Right.
to come out and do that sort of stuff, which is fine. But when you actually feel excited about something and have more time to think about it, you kind of have more hands-on of every single aspect of the album. So I do really enjoy that part of not having to go to a studio, but I do miss the camaraderie of
Yeah.
the boys in the studio, just chopping it up, being having jokes, just the boys hanging out in the studio. So I do miss that, but I also do appreciate the new
Formula.
formula of, yeah, exactly, of what we've learned and what we've done over the last two albums.
Interesting, man. Yeah, I figured that was just for the pandemic and everything, but it's really become the new way. And imagine Aaron kind of producing it again, then, right?
Yeah, Aaron did everything, and Tino lives in Palm Springs. He's moved to the desert.
Ah,
Aaron lives in downtown LA. I mean, Alan lives in downtown LA. Aaron HB. I live in LB now. So three of us are kind of close, but then at the same time, we're not all generalized in a centralized location like we used to be.
interesting, interesting. And with the last album being out during the pandemic, kind of, and no, obviously no touring for that, and everyone kind of still at home. When did you start saying, "All right, time to turn the page and start writing a new album"? When did you guys actually begin writing Tether?
I would say like almost a year ago. Some of the tracks are like a year old, from where it's getting released, maybe even a year and a month. So we're always continuously writing, whenever we feel inspiration, or you know want to dip into starting an album. We already have a couple songs ready to go. not B-sides from the last album, but like stuff that it's like newer. We were trying to do different soundscape stuff, atmospherical stuff, and so I would say like a year and a month is when a song got developed for Tether. So it kind of happened kind of fast, and especially during COVID, you know, we released an album, and then we're like, okay, since we're home again, have some time, not touring. You know, things happened in life to where we couldn't hit the road,
Right.
to where we were just like, you know what, let's focus on another album and kind of hash out, you know, 10, 15 songs of where we find a comfortability of going, you know, actually going out to completing an album. So yeah, like a year and a month. So it just happened.
Hmm.
You know, like we fleshed out Echo, which Echo was at the beginning of COVID too. So 2020 early, we started that, and then that came out. And then we're kind of just sitting at home, not touring. It's like, well, why not create another, uh, you know, album of music and keep trying to grow our writing styles and pursue another album?
So that becomes a $10 million question. Why did you guys not tour on Echo? Why did you sit out? I mean, obviously the pandemic, but it's been a few years now.
Yeah, you know, we've had a couple family emergency things with people's you know, family, like loved ones, a couple serious injuries to people to where we've had to stay home and help in that way. So it kind of was an unfortunate stay home, I
Hmm.
guess, you know, because we had tours that we were, you know, given to us, asked us to be on, you know,
Right.
for instance, like a Slipknot tour last summer. We're like, oh my
Ah,
God, of course. You know,
ah.
we love Slipknot. Our music goes good with touring with them, and we've toured with them before. So it made sense. But at the same time, the unfortunate reality of having to stay home to take care and help somebody's like livelihood to get them back on their feet. So life happened, you know, so that helped fuel the album writing as well, because we kind of took like a little time off from from writing hard and being the band that's demanding to be on the road, because that's what we were used to for the first 10 years of our career.
Right.
So it was good. But yeah, it was just unfortunate circumstances of life happening, but we're super excited to finally get back on the road.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second here. But last couple of things I want to mention about Tether. Interesting album cover. Kind of looks like a Rorschach painting or something to me. But
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
that's what we wanted to do, because I feel like with music, every song kind of works for somebody if you're listening to the lyrics, and you could develop your own, this song's written for me, or this song's written for you, or however anybody wants to take the song in for themselves. But with the artwork, it's exactly that. Tino, our drummer, actually created it, which is really cool. Like from the music production to artwork, every single thing was created by somebody in the band or done by somebody in the band. So that's a cool accomplishment for us to, you know, take everything in, from in-house art to production, everything's from us. So with the album artwork, each song has its own individual art. When you look at the packaging in the album, you'll see each song has its own colors, has its own visual representation of what it might make you feel and make you think. So
Hmm.
we kind of wanted it to bridge that sort of mental gap of where every song could be for you, as in, what do you think encompass of this song for yourself, or um, what does the music make you feel or think? And each song has its own visual representation. So yeah, each song makes you think, and which I think is very cool, because it's not just an album of songs. It kind of has more of a visual representation, but also Aaron's lyric writing is really in depth and can make you feel a certain way. So it's a hand to eye to ear package of all of that in one album. So it's yeah, it's an experience. I think it's really cool, and excited to finally get it out to everybody.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you guys still care about albums in this day and age where most people don't. And I thought it was kind of cool what you did on the last one with all the mini EPs kind of leading up to the album. Did that work out for you? Is that a kind of just a one-time deal? Because I kind of expected that to be the path moving forward.
I like that way because, the reason why we did that, that was our seventh album when we did that, and we've recorded over 100 songs now. So, with that being said, a lot of the songs that we love don't get the respect or
Mm.
the love that they should get. So I thought that was cool because you gave them three songs at a time, and they have to listen to all three songs.
Right.
And I enjoyed that because when you work so hard on so much music, and it's just like so easy just to press next song and
Mm.
listen to your favorites and stuff like that, but you still should give a whole album a chance. Every song deserves a chance to get listened to. So I really enjoyed that. I'm not sure if our label did, but it's okay though. I wish we did that sort of rollout again for this album because this is another really deep album with a lot of good music from our heavy stuff to our melodic stuff. We kind of hit it left to right. So it would have been cool, but they wanted to do the traditional rollout to see how that went. And yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
I like what you said about the different vibes. Obviously, you guys have always had the heavy side and a tune like Warpaint and then more mid-tempo like Castaway, but I feel like Indigo is kind of a whole different vibe, a whole different sound for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the best part of about getting able to record our own music and kind of do what we want to do and chase the sound. Maybe our fans or even me personally, that song didn't make the cut for the songs I picked,
Mm.
but which is fine. We kind of brought it back because Aaron wrote some amazing lyrics to it, and it was like, okay, it kind of does make a little bit more sense when it has a really good vocal melody, but also really deep lyrics with it. So it that song went through the ringer for sure. It kind of it died for a little bit. It reminds me of like a '90s,
Yeah,
like I could hear some Seal or some I forget the band name. The drummer's Morgan Rose.
Seven
Um,
Dust.
Seven Dust, yeah, Seven Dusty vibe. Kind of has that heart and soul to it. Um, so yeah, it was a different song for us, but I think a part of an album it makes sense because that's what an album should be. You should be trying to accomplish something new each time. Sound direction, even if you're not comfortable with it, that it is what it is. It it's a great song. I love it now. And like I said, I didn't at first. So yeah, that's how it should be. It
Love
grew
it,
on
man.
me.
Love it. Looking forward to the entire album and checking that out. And, talking about sitting at home for the past couple years and interesting to see your post about 859 days since your last concert. Now you guys have played since then, but man, did that seem like a lifetime? And were there some nerves after sitting out 859 days, getting back on stage again?
Yeah, the crazy thing was actually 1,313 days, even
Oh,
further than
than
what
your
that
growth.
is. So it was a long time. Like I said earlier, it to tour so much at the beginning of our start as a band, like always on the road. That's what I knew. It's what we all knew.
Right.
But to get on stage and then of course, right before you go on, there's a couple technical difficulties, and nothing's ever smooth. We have some new techs as well, so it was, you can't always expect everything to be perfect. It's not a fairy tale getting up to play on stage, and when you travel with 30 pieces of gear through an airport, it's no fairy tale. So the fairy tale story for us is that we got to play. My guitar was in tune, so I was happy about that. But yeah, the feeling about getting back on stage, the emotion of kind of like hugging the guys right before and saying to them, man, we finally get to do this again. But it was just like hopping on a bike. To me, you always remember how to ride a bike. I was excited to play some new guitars because I've been sitting on custom guitars from my company for like 4 years, and I was excited to play those. To see the crowd was amazing. You know, unfortunately, Blue Ridge Festival was a
Yeah.
really tough festival for fans. Luckily, the day we were there, it ran really smooth. No crazy weather, and yeah, it was just a lot of excitement to that led up to that. And I'm not gonna lie, when I flew out there and I saw the weather for the forecast, I was like, oh, it's gonna be the standard. We're gonna show up. Luckily, we have insurance. We're just gonna go home and not be able to play this gig. But then we got to play, so I was really, I was, you know, I had my doubts, but then we got to play, played an awesome rock show, and it definitely, you know, blessed my heart again of wanting to play shows and missing that feeling. And yeah, just a lot of pure joy, I guess, is the best way I could say it.
Yeah, it was cool to see you busting out that Jurassic Park guitar that you talking about, one of those customs.
Yeah, finally, you know, I just get this. I've been staring at it at home for years, you know, like a year and a half, and finally got to, you know, show some love to my companies and play some cool guitars, because those guitars mean a lot to me too. When you're, it's like a tattoo in a way, because it's like a something that just means a lot. When you design something, your nostalgic value of, you know, I did that guitar for the, you know, 10-year-old me, because I love dinosaurs, I love Jurassic Park, and I also loved how like 80s style guitars looked. They were just very fun, you know. That's what kind of got me into wanting to play guitar, because they just made it look so much fun. And yeah, I wanted to do that, and yeah, I got to play it. So yeah, it was a, like I said, pure joy moment of getting to take the stage again.
Imagine you were sore though the next day in body parts and stuff you didn't even think about, right? Because
Oh man,
adrenaline gets going.
the Blue Ridge actually had a massage therapist, and I kid you not, I went from stage to massage table. So I was a little sore, you know, like in my neck especially, but I truly went from stage to massage table, like. And everyone the next day, everyone's like, "Oh, my back and my neck." I was like, I'm happy I got a massage, because it right after the heat of the moment, you know, I got to get slapped up with some oil on my back and kind of decompress everything. And I think it helped for sure. I was so my calves were sore because I'm carrying my fat ass these days. I'm just jumping around, you know what I mean? Just a little bit heavier than what I was then. So my calves were definitely sore. I felt that. So I've been going to the gym, like, and actually kind of gaining some more strength in that area, because I was like, okay, yeah, if I'm going to be doing this for 30 plus days again, I got to get back in shape for that. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, and now we got you finally on a tour coming through LA, SoCal at the
Hmm.
Wiltern with, I imagine, old friends, Bullet for My Valentine on
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, on Halloween, baby, it's gonna be fun. Get your costumes ready, you know. So it's gonna, yeah, Halloween show at home on a weekend. It kind of, the stars typically don't align like that, you know. So it's gonna be a good time. Hometown shows are always crazy, you know. My phone's been blowing up, you know, since we put that out there. Um, so yeah, it's kind of like I have to pick and choose who I want to invite, and you know how that goes. Hometown shows. Luckily, my parents are a little older now, so they probably won't make it, but they're happy I'm back on the road. But that, at least that clears up
Yeah,
two list spots. So you know, but yeah, excited for the show. Bullet's great friends of ours. Great metalcore band as well. So it's going to be a great show, good Halloween gig, and get to play in front of some friends and family.
so like for a Halloween show like this, and you know well in advance and everything, are you going to dress up on stage? Have you dressed up on stage in the past?
Yeah, we've kind of decided our look. I'm not going to disclose it now, but
Or-
we've been talking about it for um, a couple weeks now, throwing out some ideas and that sort of stuff. We've had a show on Halloween once with In This Moment, actually, in New Orleans, and I think I was maybe Alan wore a mask and Tino might have worn a mask, and AP, I don't remember what AP did, but I wore like a Rasta banana outfit. You know, it was like a banana with the dreads. Um, which was difficult to play guitar because it didn't, if you look down, all I see is the costume, like it
Right.
only had the little square to where my peripheral is just right in front of me. So I was like, man, this is going to be a rough one. So I had to like bite down on like something inside of the costume. So it would then,
Tilt.
yeah, tilt. So when I got off stage, I remember feeling the mask. I was like, a part of the costume was just soaking wet. I was like, damn, that sucks. You know what I mean? But then, yeah, I gave the costume away to a fan afterwards, and I was like, well, not my
Enjoy,
problem no more.
enjoy the wet
Enjoy,
spot.
yeah, enjoy the smell of some Jameson and some beer and some saliva, because that's what it definitely smelled. It smelled a little bit like New Orleans.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
yeah, he loved it. So I was like, yeah, enjoy.
Awesome, man. And just last couple of things I wanted to hit you with. You were kind enough to have me in a fantasy football league a few years ago. It's been a while
Yeah,
now. I kind of got reminded of it because I'm in a new league on ESPN, and it popped up. That league popped up saying it hadn't been renewed yet. But are you playing this year?
yeah, I'm playing. I'm the champion in my buddy league at home. So, it's this actually been a league that's, I think it's its 12th year. So
Okay.
it's a long, it's been a long lasting league, and my team's 4-0. I'm happy about that. I
Nice.
have some injuries that I'm dealing with, so once I heal up, the team will be even, hopefully better. It's so different every week. Every player gets utilized differently. If a quarterback gets hurt, your wide receiver doesn't get any love. So as you know, it's a up and down sort of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of trash talk going on, since I'm the former champ. um I'm 4-0 now, so yeah, it's
You're doing all the trash talking.
I'm definitely delivering a lot of trash talk to these guys. Yeah, so they deserve it though.
Who was your first pick?
My first pick.
And did you have the last pick since you won last year? You had the last pick then?
Yeah, so I had 9 and 10, which is always rough. So I went for a wide receiver and a running back. So I think I picked uh Diggs and Barkley.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, Diggs is a baller. Barkley is injured, but when he comes back, he'll be balling. How about you? Who'd you pick first?
Dude, I came in last place last year, so I got the first pick, and I was the whole way up to the draft. I was going, I'm going to take Eckler instead of
Hmm.
CMC because he always got
Yeah,
hurt. And
of
thank God I
course.
didn't. Thank God I
Yeah.
stuck with CMC, man.
Thank goodness. Yeah, that was the first person in our draft too. The buddy that took him of in our league, he's a Niners fan, so he was like, "I don't care about anyone else. I'm going CMC." And what a great decision he made. Great. He used his heart fully in that decision, and it worked out for him. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I got to get my league going again. I ran it again last year or 2 years, maybe 2 years. I think I did it last year,
Hmm.
and I tried to get it going again. I had like 9 people, maybe 8 people, like hit me up about it, and I was like, I think I'm in 4 or 5 leagues right now, so I kind of like it's on the back burner. But since we're touring again, I like to do league next year too, to where like, whoever wins or whoever gets to be in the league get to come to a show, hang out. You know what I mean? Like I like to make that experience a lot funner, because if you're joining my league, appreciate it, and if you're a fan of the band, I like to cater to coming to a show and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was cool. The year I played, I remember Levi Benton was in the league too, and I'm sure
Yeah.
other guys I'm forgetting, but I recently interviewed him and brought up that league again. What was that, back in September, I think, when their album came out? But good times. And last thing I wanted to touch upon with you, Great Notion Brewing, big craft beer fan.
Yeah. Great Notion is they were my very first. I got to make content for them. So my very first beer sponsor, which was really cool. Especially such a great company that does crazy things that are all tasty.
Like,
So what's that?
what kind of crazy things are they doing?
Oh, just like crazy sours, just with super crazy fruits, and like boysenberry pie sour, and
Is that
uh,
your flavor, the sours?
I do enjoy sours. I'm a bigger hazy IPA guy, not specifically hazies, but I like hazies. I like IPAs. To me, it's just like full flavor. I don't smoke cigarettes, but if I were to smoke a cigarette, it's going to be a red. It has full flavor. And
Right.
that's, whiskey, bourbon, all that stuff is full flavor, and I like my beer that way. Not, but if I like sours, I love all beer. I'll just say keep it at that. I don't have any sort of beer I don't really like. So yeah, I like it all.
Do you kind of go with the seasons, like drink more of the stouts and reds in the winter and more the lagers and pilsners in the summer, or just whatever comes across your face?
I mean, I like the seasonal. I'm not a pumpkin spice guy.
Right.
So I'm not going to be sipping pumpkin spice IPA, cinnamon toast crunch IPA. You know what I mean? I'll drink like maybe like an apple cider something. But yeah, I'll drink like reds, stouts, wintertime. And that's like the best part of touring. I get to go back on the road and sample and try so many different things that I've been missing out on for like the last couple of years. So a lot of great breweries have popped up during COVID times and things like that, to where people got to really experiment and then make their own brand and yada yada yada. So I'm really excited to go back out and try a bunch of stuff throughout the states. Uh, yeah, as you know, I love beer, so I can't wait to really get to enjoy a bunch of um, the new pop-ups and old pop-ups that I used to go to.
Love it, man. Last thing I got for you, we're old school radio station. We do mandatory Metallica every night at 10 p.m., which you're going to be a part of. And I've been having this Metallica debate. You're a Metallica fan, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I've been having this debate all year long with my buddy Brad, who sings in a band called Against the Sun. But we've been debating the greatest Metallica album ever. And we came down on differing sides. And out of these two, I'm curious which your favorite would be. His pick is Ride the Lightning. My pick is Master of Puppets. Out of those two, which would be your numero uno?
Man, I'm a big Ride the Lightning fan. Like those riffs got me going back in the day. So I have to choose, because that's probably my number one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and I love the Black Album. As cliche as that album is, that's like close. But I would say, yeah, the Ride the Lightning. But my favorite Metallica stuff they've ever done is Metallica S&M, the original.
Oh,
That's the
really?
very first Metallica album my mom let me purchase. So when I got that, I was like, man, this is so intriguing having the orchestra with Metallica, because I've heard of Metallica songs, when I was younger, but I never got to buy the album. So when I got to hear it incorporated with a full orchestra, it added so much dimension and so much like things I wasn't prepared for.
Hmm.
So I really enjoyed that, and they released a new song on that album, Cult of Cool. Not, I forget the name of it.
No Leaf Clover.
No Leaf Clover, yeah. So No Leaf Clover was a banger, and yeah, for the original Metallica stuff, Ride the Lightning, but like the album I could go listen to, because it has also a bunch of different songs from all the albums redone, is S&M, because that was a cool thing that happened that never happened back then.
Yeah, no, they were the first to do it, and it makes sense, and it shows how musical and how melodic those songs are, even how heavy they are. They were still able to find the melody in there, and that's what comes out with the symphony, really.
It's true art. They worked with a great composer to do that, and really created a soundscape of like old style, music that I would never thought would blend with the Metallica stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of modern bands are doing that for their own sound these days. So it's a really cool thing that they did and created, and a whole orchestral sense of music with metal, even though death metal and, Dimmu Borgir, they've been doing that too. But I'm not saying Metallica did that first, but I'm just saying on a larger scale, Metallica brought it to a lot more people with a little bit more enjoyable music to listen to.
And they even did a S&M 2 recently. I think it was
Yeah,
this year.
I think, yeah, they did it right. I think like it might have been right before COVID, because I was trying to fly out. It was at the Chase Center in San Francisco. So I was like, man, I love the first one. I really want to go to the second one, but yeah, unfortunately didn't make it. But it still sounds badass. Metallica's a great band.
Just to put a button on it, can we play a song? What Metallica song can we play for you on Mandatory Metallica?
My one of my favorite songs to listen to is Fuel.
Ah,
I think Fuel's a ripper of a song, such a huge chorus. I love the riff in it too. It's yeah, I love that's probably my when I'm running and I need a little bit of extra
push.
pumping. Yeah, it's definitely Metallica Fuel for me.
Beautiful, man. Thank you for the time. Can't wait for the album and the tour and everything. And best of luck out there on the road.
Yeah, man, thank you. Hopefully you could get to that show. If not, we're gonna have to go have another show where you can make it through and definitely have some nice craft beers together.
Yeah, I would love to hang, and I would love for a headline show, man. I mean, it's tough to see you guys
Yeah,
open.
next year for sure, 110%. We're gonna do that. We just wanted to get our feet wet again. So
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, I'll be there to support that one as well. Phil, have a great afternoon. Thank you for the time, and safe travels out there.
awesome. Thank you. Have a great afternoon too, and thank you for the interview. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Later. Later.